Okay, there's 6 questions I ask everyone in every interview that I do. It's a way to provide continuity throughout all of my interviews,
Sure.
across different borders and different states. The first question is, where is your favorite place to travel and why?
Hmm. I don't know if I have an answer to that. Um,
You must have traveled a lot of places. You have one place in mind?
well, I have several places in mind, but I don't know if I could say that any one of them is my favorite place to go to. Um, I mean, I tend to really like the really um, small town, small artsy towns like diamond in the rough towns in different areas, like much like Burlington, Vermont. I love it here. The more I travel, the more I can't wait to come back. It sort of feels like a really funky, artsy neighborhood of a bigger city. And this is the biggest city in Vermont, so, but it's very chill and manageable. But I really like, the artsy, liberal places, where there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Actually, one I probably lean, well, I don't know. I guess I'd have to say Santa Fe, New Mexico is one of the most magical places I've been. It's a lot like these small artsy towns that I'm talking about, like, Burlington, Vermont, Northampton, Massachusetts, Asheville, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, all these, really cool towns. It's very small, but I think it's really beautiful. I mean, there are tons of small art galleries, a lot of modern art galleries too, which I really happen to like. But all of the buildings in Santa Fe there's a city like law that all the buildings have to look like the traditional adobe design. So they all have this kind of artificial adobe look to them, and the town itself feels like you're in someone's painting. So that's pretty magical.
It's really neat.
Really nice people too that I met in the downtown area, and really relaxed, laid back, good energy.
Second question I ask is, what is your favorite type of music?
Um, I'm pretty, I guess I've opened my mind, but I tend to be genre specific with people that are in the same genre that I'm in. For years I was very tunnel visioned with that genre. So the kind of really emotional, evocative, alternative singer-songwriters that that tend to be more sad or melancholy or hopeful, but that have a lot of that sing about real issues, things that we tend to like to ignore in mainstream pop music, songs that people can really cling on to and just help them get through a hard time or whatever. So, a lot of female singers, for whatever reason. I just have always been drawn to female singers.
What does happiness mean to you?
I don't know. I'm stumped. I would say, I guess I have a lot of different answers. Personally, just I'm the happiest when I'm doing what I love, which may not translate to an ideal living for everyone, but, I guess I'm happiest when I can be myself and do what I love and feel comfortable where I am, and accepted and tolerated and, embraced and loved, like anyone would probably say. So
What about community? What does community mean to you?
people, a supportive environment where people are involved and, actively involved, I guess. I mean, a lot of times events will happen and people will be in the right frame of mind to really embrace the community, but the community won't show up for any reason, for some reason, like if there are events happening. And I think it's really important for both sides to really connect. And for people in my position, not only people in my position just really working hard at getting the word out, but people in the community also embracing and understanding the way things work and doing their part. Like I always mention at every show that I give a little brief synopsis of my situation. Like, I am an independent artist. I don't have a big label or tour support or anything. I really rely on your support in order to do this for a living. So I really appreciate you being here, and I really think it's important for people to understand that, because it's not obvious, and it's certainly not, the truth certainly isn't being told on television or in the mainstream media. So I think it's important for all of us to do our part.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be?
Well, today I would have to say the government and the way we approach war, particularly because I just saw Why We Fight last night. I don't know if you've heard of this documentary called Why We Fight. If you haven't, it's necessary viewing. And if you're still in town, this is kind of a side note, sorry, but if you're still in town, it's playing at the Independent Theater downtown called the Roxy. It's just really incredible. I mean, I was so angry and worked up, feeling such a weird combination of really lucky to be an American, yet really embarrassed to be an American. And we're wrapped right around the government's finger, at all times, and it's something we can't really get away from unless we become educated or become more active and really speak up on a much bigger level. I mean, I don't know. There's so much going through my head right now. I don't even know what to say about that. So I guess I would change our system. I mean, I don't know much about politics. I really don't. I try and stay separated from it because I get so heated up. And I also have a hard time just keeping tabs on local politics because I'm traveling so much. But I know that there are better systems that work in other countries that we certainly aren't attempting here, because I feel that we're so busy trying to dominate the world that it's just the past 6 years or however many years have just been awful, but also very eye-opening for a lot of people. I found it very interesting that the main question in this documentary was, why do we fight? What is your opinion? Why do we fight? And it was amazing how many Americans were just like, I'm not really sure why we're fighting right now. I hope it's for this or for that, or but I'm not really sure why we're fighting right now. Which is scary, but also really amazing in comparison to how sure we were, a few wars ago, and how much trust we had in the government a few wars ago.
The last question is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
I would try and be more objective and have less and not have as high expectations for people or things. You know, we all tend to create certain expectations for other people, and that if they don't fulfill it, then it creates a lot of unnecessary conflict in a lot of cases, because we all tend to be on different pages a lot of time, and I think, and you know, aren't able to really understand from the other perspective because we're too busy being angry that our expectations weren't fulfilled. You know, I think that would I would think that would help with a lot of understanding for a lot of people. We're all so busy, you know, feeling justified in what we believe that we don't ever take the time to really listen to where the other person might be coming from. And I sort of feel like we all exist the way we do, so there's got to be a reason for it all. You know, I may not agree or like a certain person or what they stand for, but, you know, I'm just as ignorant as they are if I'm not willing to figure out where they're coming from.